What's up, everybody? You feel this beat right here?
Hello and welcome. My name is Cindy Piggott and I am the owner and creative director of Stampin' Chick Creations. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'd like to take a second to let you know a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name is Cindy and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Ontario, Canada. I live in a small community outside of a small community called Brigden, Ontario, and I work full time. I also live on a farm with 100 head of cattle that keeps us very, very busy, and I love stamping. So welcome if you're new, and if you're not new, welcome back, and I hope you're going to enjoy this. So for those of you that are not familiar with what's going on in the recent weeks, I have been experiencing some terrible internet issues and not sure what the source of that is just yet. So I have turned to doing pre-recorded videos in the meantime that we can figure it out. So my apologies that this is not live, but you can always follow me on my Facebook page or on Instagram or on TikTok. So I hope you enjoy this video. I love hearing your feedback and input. Be sure to leave me some comments so I know what you're thinking, and I just love hearing feedback. All right, let's get started and we will get some crafting done. All right, so this week's card is actually a sidestep card, is what we call this. This is what it looks like, and this is what it looks like standing. Okay, so it has been a very long time since I've done one of these, but I forgot how much fun they are, and I've been seeing them all over the internet as of late, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go back to doing one of those. So this is kind of the side view, not a really complicated card, guys. If you saw my card from last week, that was a center step card, center fold card. It's pretty darn similar, but just we're only cutting in a different spot. So as I told you last week, I have started going back to doing a template for all of my cards. I used to do this 100 years ago and I got away from it for some reason, but this is kind of my template as to how I keep track of what it is that I'm doing in my measurements. So I'm going to keep that nice and close by. I am going to make 3 cards tonight, and one will be a holiday card, one will be an all occasions card, and one will be a fall card. So let's start with the fall card first, and we can go from there. So what are you going to need for this? So you are going to need, I'm going to move my paper cutter for just a second here. So you're going to need a standard card base. So this is going to be the 5.5 by 8.5. Okay. And I'm using black for this card. You're going to need, this is normally, I would do this as white, but I'm going to actually layer mine for this specific card. But this piece is 2 3/4 by 4. So really, if you look at my original card, that would act as this piece right here. Okay. But I'm going to layer mine. So I actually have a piece of Designer Series paper to go on top of that because I'm going to use this Hello Harvest paper. And then you need a piece of white, or this could be Designer Series paper if you choose, at 2 3/4 by 3. And I'm going to actually do some stamping on that one. And then you need a piece of either white or Designer Series paper at 2 1/4 by 3. And this will actually act as this piece right here. Okay. And then you need a piece of white or Very Vanilla. This is where you're going to be stamping your sentiment. And so this is 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. Okay. And then obviously whatever you're decorating your card with, I'm going to use some pumpkins. Okay, so my apologies. I just realized as I'm talking that this is a black card base, which might be very difficult for you to see. So you're going to bring in your paper trimmer. Doesn't matter which paper trimmer you use. If it's not a Stampin' Up! One, we will forgive you. But so what we're going to do is we are actually going to bring this in to your paper trimmer, and we're going to line this up at 2 1/2. Okay, so I have the shorter end of my paper along the top, and I'm lining it up at 2 1/2. I just want to verify that because I don't want to get too far along and tell you the wrong measurements. I've lost my yellow ruler. My fancy dancy yellow ruler. Yeah, so 2 1/2. That's right. Okay. So And then I'm going down. Yep, okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm at 2.5. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in. And like last week, I'm actually going to turn this. I don't normally cut my paper like this, honestly. But for me to be able to see my markings, because of the lights and that kind of thing, I'm going to do it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my cutting at 2 inches. So here's my 2-inch mark right here on my paper trimmer. So I'm going to go, 2.5. Sorry, I lied. No, it is 2 inches. Sorry, 2 inches. I'm looking at my template. I have all sorts of stuff written down. So 2 inches, and I'm going to go down to 7.5, which is right here. Okay, so 2 inches to 7.5. Okay, that is all the cutting that we're doing. We are going to score, however. So I'm going to take my cutting blade. I'm going to move it right out of the way. I don't want to make a mistake and cut in the wrong spot. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I took my paper out, I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to line this up at 2 inches, and I'm going to score just to this cut line. So I'm going to come to about here, going across, okay, and then I'm going to come down to 4, and I'm going to score just to the cut line. And then I'm going to go 4.25. And this one, my 4.25, I'm actually going to go from this far edge to the cut line. So the opposite of what we've been doing. Okay. And then I'm going to go 5.25. And I'm going to go again from this side to my cut line. So 5.25, just to the cut line here. And then 6.5. 6.5, which is right there. And then 7.5, which should be the bottom of the cut line. Okay, so I did overscore a little bit, but that's okay. So essentially, I'm just going to close up my paper trimmer. That is it. Few very simple cut lines, and this is all we need. Okay, so now what are we going to do? This 1/4 inch, 4.25 is going to be a valley fold. Okay, this top one here, the very first one, is going to be a valley. Sorry, I said that wrong. These are mountain folds. Sorry, my bad. Mountain folds. This one is going to be a valley. Your next one is going to be a mountain. The next one is going to be a valley. And then a mountain. So essentially, when you fold that all up, you should have something that looks like this. So I'm just going to use my bone folder and crease these all very nicely because I love nice and crisp creased lines. Okay, so let's do that again. So here is my paper. I have my 4.25. This is going to be a mountain fold. This first line, mountain fold. Your next one is a valley. The next one is a mountain, valley, mountain. Okay, so once you do that, this is what you should end up with. Okay. All right. So this is, and it should stand nice and beautiful. So now if I bring over my papers, I really don't know what I'm doing with this card. I'm just going to kind of wing it, to be quite honest. But this is what I had kind of envisioned in my head. I was thinking this one would go here as such. This one will go here. This will go here. This one could potentially go right here. And I could cut this one down, this white one down a little bit more, just so that it's not hiding this as much. And then I was thinking about doing a pumpkin here. It's kind of what I was envisioning. Like that. Okay. Okay, let's put that together. Okay, so apparently my computer froze and I did not realize it until a few minutes in. So what I essentially did was I glued my 2 pieces of paper together, and then I actually adhered them onto this first flap back here. Now remembering, when you do this, you only want to glue this bottom portion of your paper. You don't want to glue the entire thing because you'll glue your card down. So I have that part done. Now my next part that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually glue this piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So this is going on here as such, okay? And if you've cut your paper correctly, you could actually line it up if that's something that you're looking to do. Hear my fan going on my computer, so hopefully this does not freeze on me. All right, so here we go. So this is my Designer Series paper, and I am using the liquid adhesive for this, and I like it because then I can kind of move it around if it's not just perfect. So I could have actually probably put some Mossy Meadow cardstock behind this just to coordinate this, but that's fine for this one. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring in the Hello Harvest stamp set. And I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to stamp these flowers on top, and then I'm going to say, "You are such a blessing," is kind of what I'm envisioning right now. I don't know what it's going to look like. We're going to find out together. So let me do this. Oops, let me do this. I'm going to bring in my Memento Black ink. I'm just going to stamp that. And I will have to go ahead and color these with my blends, obviously, but this will, let's just see how this looks. So I'm going to go about here, I think. I probably should be using my Stamparatus for this. There we go. Okay, and then, you're such a blessing. I'm going to bring in this block, and I think I'm going to do this in Cajun Craze. Cajun Craze is the color that's being used on the pumpkins. So I think that's a great color to use here. Just can never remember if my Cajun Craze is the one that's dry or not, but okay. You're such a blessing. There we go. And I need to do some stamping on this piece. So this is the piece that's going to go along our bottom here. So I'm just going to use the hello on this is what I'm going to do. And I think I'm going to try using my garden green. I know that it's Mossy Meadow in here. My Mossy Meadow, I know for a fact, is not very juicy. So, oops, I think I might have overstamped this one. I'm going to use garden green on this because there's a couple different shades of green in there. I think I can get away with this one. There we go. Now, I could actually flag the ends of these. I'm not going to because I think what I'm actually going to do is I think I'm going to maybe take this leaf. I could actually use these scrolls here, but anyway, I'm going to take the leaf and I'm going to come in with Cajun Craze again. Just watching my computer to make sure it doesn't kick me out. I'm just going to put the leaf here and then one here, like that. Okay. All right, now what we need to do is we need to actually put this all together. Well, I need to do some coloring here, don't I? So I'm going to do some light Cajun Craze, or sorry, this is Calypso Coral. I'll do some light Calypso Coral on my flowers here. I think I actually wanted orange and yellow on this one, but we'll see how we make out. I usually blend my two colors, and I'm pretty sure it's the Pumpkin Pie and Daffodil Delight. But it's okay. We can make do. We will figure it out. Pumpkin Pie. Let's do this. Yes, Pumpkin Pie. So, if you don't have the blends already, oh, I love my blends. You'll find that I use my blends more and more than anything else, any other coloring medium that we have. I love all of our different ways to color. I just find the blends are just so nice and they go on so smooth that it makes coloring very, very nice. So if you don't like coloring, because I know there's a few of you out there. This is definitely would be a great way to change your mind. Let me just tell you that. Actually, you know what I want to do with this one? I want to do this one yellow with a little bit of orange in the bottom. But I've already committed to this, so that's okay. It's funny how you have one thought and then it can go right out the window very quickly. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to keep this one out because I still want this one. And then I'm going to come in with this yellow here. And I'm going to kind of go right here. Oh, my phone is. Okay. Alright. So here I am with my, what color is this? This is Dark Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to go Daffodil Delight on this one. This is what I want to do on the other ones. I'm going to maybe turn this light down a little bit. There. It's making it kind of hard to see where I'm coloring here. Hopefully that lighting's a little bit better for you as well. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Okay. So it tells me that my computer wants to do an update. And I'm like, not right now. Please, not right now. Okay, so I'm going to come in with my, this is Old Olive. No, it's not. It's darker than Old Olive. Oh, it is dark Old Olive. It's not the one I wanted, but let's switch out. Let's do a light. So they come in a 2-pack now. Originally, when they first came out, you could purchase them individually. But then they changed that, and you can only purchase the blends as a set of 2. So a light and a dark, which kind of sometimes is a little bit frustrating because maybe one marker has run out before the other. But at the same time, keeping in mind that at some point, they probably are both going to run out, right? So you're just kind of maybe buying a wee bit ahead, but most times it's not a big concern. Okay, so then I'm just going to come in with my Daffodil Delight and kind of do a little bit of these here, just to bring a little bit of color to it. So you can see how this is starting to kind of pop. All right, so I'm going to just put these to the side for a second. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go ahead, I'm going to adhere this in here. And because I have my words there, I'm not going to go right to the bottom. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I'd like to kind of keep this so you can see this. So you're going to maybe not see as much as that paper when it's closed, but when it's opened, you will. So again, making sure we're only putting the glue on the bottom, not all the way to the top. And because I want to make sure this, oops, did you see what I did there? I put the glue on the wrong side. That was awfully silly of me. Don't be a Cindy. I'm telling you to be careful of where you put your glue, and I put my glue on the totally wrong side of the paper. Ah! Boy, that's kind of... Okay, let's try that again. You want to put your glue in the right spot. So now you guys will not make this mistake because I just did it for you. Okay, so what I was saying was because I want to make sure that I can see the words, I'm going to actually maybe just push that just so it's lined up with that paper. Okay, and I'm just going to hold that there for a second. I can't believe I did that. Oh well, it goes to show that not everything is always just tickety-boo, right? We all make mistakes. I'm sure you guys were watching going, duh, you're gluing that on the wrong side. And me, I'm just like, what's going on? All right, so there's that. Now we have to do our pumpkin, right? Oh, I hope that doesn't glue to that. So I may have to stand this up just so that until that dries. Otherwise, it's going to glue right to my card. Funny me. All right, so now, I don't know if you've noticed on these pumpkins, but they actually have some embossing on them. When you die cut them, they're already embossed, which is a lot of fun, actually. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this one here. I had some fine tip glue. I should have my silicone mat out is what I should have. I don't know where I put my fine tip glue. Oh, it's right here. Right here. So yes, if I had my silicone mat, this would not be an issue. Because my silicone mat will stop the glue from sticking to where I don't want it to stick, right? Okay. Oh, this is coming out quite juicy tonight for some reason. Just going to hold that there for a second. I'm just going to let that do its thing before I go ahead and glue this down. Actually, I might pop it up on here. Yeah, just make sure that doesn't stick. Okay, while that's doing that, I'm going to clean off my stamps so I can clean up after myself. So it must be one of those nights because my computer's misbehaving. I'm gluing things the wrong way. Must be a full moon tonight. All right, let me glue this, close that up. I'm going to grab my adhesive or my dimensionals, which I thought I had on my desk at one point, but I think I possibly put them away. All right, my fingers are not working. Boy, we're only on card 1 and I'm messing up. Can you imagine by the time we get to the last card? Okay, so I hope you guys are enjoying these cards. I never really know what to showcase, what you like, what you don't like. So it's always nice to hear some feedback and some input. Oops, daisies. Now this one's still going to go. Okay, so there is our first card complete. Probably would make this a little bit smaller on my next go around if I was doing it again. But there it is. Okay. Card number 1. All right, let me put my stamps away. As we all know, I have to put my stamps away or they will end up lost. Let's go this way. Okay. There we go. All right. Card number 1 is done. So let's move on to card number 2 and let's hope I have better luck there. Okay, card number 2 is going to be this one here. So I am using polished pink for this card. And I decided what I wanted to do for this one. I was going to actually showcase the True Beauty stamp set and the Awash in Beauty 12 by 12 paper. So if you were part of this Love It Chop It, which is what this is how we do Love It Chop It, you'll know how beautiful and stunning this paper is. So I thought, why not showcase it? All right, so we need to bring in our paper cutter again. So for this one, I have polished pink. I've decided to use this piece of Designer Series paper for the back piece. This will be the front piece. There's my white, and then this will be the piece I will be doing some stamping on. So I might bring in some of the stamps and do some stamping with that kind of thing. So let's see what we can do. Okay, paper cutter. Sorry, I'm working on a very small surface today. Paper trimmer. My paper, I'm going to be putting in the 5.5 portion into my paper trimmer, and I'm lining this up at 2.5. I am then going down to 2, and I'm going to go down to 7.5. 2 to 7.5. Okay, so that's fine. And then I'm going to open this up. I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to line it up at 2 inches. And I'm going to score just to the cut line. And then I'm going to move this across to 4 inches. Again, just to the score line, or I mean to the cut line. I keep saying score line, but I mean cut line. And then I'm going 4 1/4. And this is going to the other side into the cut line. So this will be the opposite side. And then we're going to go 5 1/4. We're going to go back to the other side, to the top of the page, and we're going to go to the cut line. And then we're going 6 1/2, top of the page to the cut line. And then we're going down to 7 1/2. And this will be the bottom of the cut. And this is what you should end up with. Probably hard to see, is my guess. But, so we have a 4 1/4. We have a score line, we have a cut line, score, 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 score. Okay, so hopefully that's what you have. Again, here we go. We're going to do a mountain fold at the 4 1/4. We're going to do a mountain fold as your first fold here. Then we're going valley, mountain, valley, mountain. And you will see that your paper will just start to fold itself, really. If you've done the measurements right, they will just start to fold themselves, which is kind of cool. Okay, so there we end up with that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to put our designer series paper here. And again, you could layer this. I probably should have layered this actually, but I'm going to do this one here. And then I'm going to do my white. And I'm going to push this one all the way down. Again, I could make this smaller. This one's going to come over here. And then this one's going to come along here. Okay, and we're going to do some stamping, possibly. Okay, so this one again, making sure we're only gluing to the bottom of the page. And only a small portion. We don't want a lot of glue. Because we don't want to glue the entire thing down. And we don't want to be silly, like I was just silly. And glue it incorrectly. Okay, so there we go. I probably would have liked this better if it was layered, but okay, we're not going to stress out about that. This one I'm going to do my designer series paper next. I can glue this all. Whew, all of a sudden I just panicked. Okay, so then we're gluing this all here. Like this. And then I have these two papers. So let's take a look at our stamp set and see what we want to do here. So on here, we have this beautiful, beautiful die that comes with. We have these beautiful floral sprigs, I guess you would call them. And then we have some really, really nice stamps. And you can see I haven't even put the entire thing together yet. But I think for this one, I might just do a just because for this card. I don't do a lot of just because I don't know. It's not something I'm used to doing. I usually just have a reason for sending somebody a card, not just because I'm sending them a card, which is kind of silly because we can send cards for no matter any reason, right? All right, so here we go. So just because. So I'm going to use I love this H block. I use it quite often. I might do this one in Mary Merlot. So if you're not familiar with Mary Merlot, this is actually the color that we used for our Love It Chocolate this last month. I think it's one of the colors that's very overlooked. It's beautiful. It's very, very dark. Kind of like a burgundy, but kind of like a wine color. It's just such a beautiful color. So just because, put that there. And I think what I might actually do is I am going to take, I don't think I'm going to do much die cutting on this one, but I might just take these in the polished pink and just fill in the sides of this one here. I'm going to leave it down for right now. Okay, so I'm going to take my adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Here. Okay, so that's what we have so far. And then I think this is a really, really nice one just to kind of do some great sprigs here. And maybe some florals. I just think some sprigs here like this would be really, really nice. And then this one here, I'm thinking we can use that same stamp and die cut it, ribbon, that kind of thing. So let's do a little bit of die cutting. I have to grab some green cardstock because I do not have it close by. Okay, so here we go. So I've got my mini die cutting machine here that I absolutely love. Oops, I should probably close up my adhesive so it doesn't dry up on me. So this one operates just the same as our large die cutter. You're always making a sandwich with this one as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one and this one. And I am using the same color green. So this is Mossy Meadow if it's not a color that you're familiar with. Great color. I like to use this one usually standing, but let's see how it may go sitting down. Okay. This one's really great for, like, if you have a small space on your desk. It fits most dies and some embossing folders, not all embossing folders. Okay, and then I'm thinking what, oops, whoopsie daisies. I'm thinking what I could do is actually take a piece of white scrap. I think I want to put this on a bigger piece of cardstock though. Okay. A bigger block, I mean, not cardstock. Take that off there. I'm still going to use the polished pink for this one. I'm going to come in some scrap piece of paper that I'm using. I hope, anyway. I might have just stamped on the piece of paper that I needed, but I think it's a scrap. And then I'm just going to die cut this one out. So this one has a coordinating die. So if you've not seen this one, it was the Love It Chop It paper for last month. And if you don't have the stamp set and dies for it, it's beautiful, 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 beautiful. And I know a lot of people say, oh, it's just another floral. I don't need any more florals. And I thought the same thing until I got it. And then I was like, oh, I love this one because it is slightly different. And I know, you know, there's a lot of arguments saying, well, do I need any more florals? Yeah, you do. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to put this one here. Probably like that. I think I'm going to pop that one up. And then I'm thinking this one here. This one, could have actually put these back here, couldn't I? Let's just see what we're doing here. That's kind of pretty too, isn't it? Okay, so let's do this. Let's put this one here. I'll put this one here. We'll do the pop-ups. If I can find my pop-ups right here. Okay, I think I might have, did I by accident use the piece of paper that I needed for the center? I might have. Okay, let's go like this. Put that one on an angle. And we're going to go like this. So again, if you try this card, I would love for you to post your pictures. I'm always so curious to see what papers you use and what yours look like. It always gives me inspiration to try something different, because you guys always tend to use papers that I would not have even thought to use, or stamps that I would not have thought to use. So I need the inspiration just as much as you guys do sometimes. So let's do it together. Oh, come on, glue. This is the problem with liquid glue when it starts to get towards the bottom, though. Okay. Okay. So, if I can find my piece of paper that was supposed to go here, which I think might be this one. Nope, that is not it. Oh, maybe it is that one. Could create a collage on this one. What do you think? With Calypso Coral, possibly. So I want that nice and light. I don't want any dark on this piece here. I just want it nice and light. And then I'm going to go with, I'm looking for my green. It's not my background I wanted. It was Pear Pizzazz. It's tucked away there, hiding on me. I can use this one. This would be a great print to do rock and roll on. So just kind of creating my own background on this one. I'm going to push that down as far as I can go. And again, just putting the glue along the bottom. Just trying to watch my computer to make sure it has not stopped working on me. It seems to be doing something crazy today for some reason. Okay, so let's let that dry for a second while I come over here and see what adhesive, or sorry, which ribbon I have that we could use for this. So I'm thinking, I don't even know if this is current ribbon, but for this case, it probably does not matter. I'm going to come in with some Mossy Meadow linen thread. I'm just going to make myself a bow. Like that. So when I make bows, I like to actually cut off more ribbon than I need on purpose because I can't feel my fingers. So for me to tie a bow, I need more ribbon than I need so that I can kind of have that little bit of leeway. There we go, like that. And then trim. Trim. Okay, so there is card number 2. Could put some jewels on this too. All right, one more card. Let's do this. One more card. So let me know what you think about the card. Not my cards, but not the design of the card, but the layout of the card. Did you like this type of a fold? Do you want to see more of these types of things? Would you like me to go back to showing you how to use your scraps? I know that was very, very popular with a lot of people. So just trying to give you as much value as I can. So I just love hearing input and feedback though. It's like, yeah, those are really great, Cindy, but I don't want you to do those. I want you to go back to showing us how to do the scraps. Then let me know that. Or no, Cindy, I love these. I think we should be doing more of these fancy folds. And we can have that conversation as well. All right, last card, and then I am going to let you go for the night. What's my last card? This one right here. How about this one? So I die cut some of this already for you. So this is the same card as what I showed you as the very first sample card. So again, I need my paper trimmer, and I hope you're doing this along with me. We're going 2.5 inches into your paper cutter with your short side at the top. We are going 2 inches. So I find the darker colors are much harder to see. So 2 inches is about here, about there. 2 inches to, what did I say, 7.5. I have no idea where 7.5 is. I'm on my paper trimmer right here. 7.5. So 2 to 7.5. Open that up. So obviously the darker colors are harder to see. Okay, now I'm flipping it and I'm going 2 inches right to the cut line. And then I'm going down to 4 inches to the cut line. 4.25. I'm going to the opposite end, so the end that's closest to you, up to the score line, or cut line, sorry. Then we're going 5.25. So we're going to go to the top of the page, down to the cut line. And then we're going to go 6.5, top of the page to the cut line. And then 7.5, which should be the bottom of your cut line. And it's just going cut line. Okay, and then what are we doing? We're going mountain fold, valley, mountain, right? So you'll see your paper kind of already folding that way. All right, here we are. We're happy. What was my thought process here? Oh, here I'm stamping. Here I'm gluing. Here I'm stamping. Here, here, and here. Okay, where's my stamp set? So for this one, what am I going to do on this one here? I used a different stamp set than what is in here for my original card, but that's fine. I think we can make this work regardless. So Season's Greetings will go, I'm going to go this way. Cherry Cobbler is the color of the paper, but but I'm also using real red. So oops, daisies. I could do either. I just stuck my hand in the ink pad. That was fantastic. Okay, so Season's Greetings. You'll notice on my original card I used a different Season's Greetings, but that's fine. I'm going to get the ink off my finger. Here we go. Close it up and keep it to the side because I need this. So if you're not familiar with this stamp set and this die, it's Leaves of Holly. And honestly, I was not going to order this one, and I am so glad I did. It was one of those ones I was like, I don't know. Do I really need it? Yeah, the answer is yeah, I actually did really need it. I just didn't even realize I needed it. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. It does cut. It's a 2-step stamp and a 2-step die cutting. So this is going to come here like that, right? I'm going to put this here. So let's start putting this together. The back of this holly paper is, or this, it's not holly paper, it's poinsettia type paper is kind of crazy. Okay, so here's this one. I'm going to do my Season's Greetings. Come on. Come on, glue. Okay. Season's Greetings. Here we go. This. Okay, so what we have so far. Okay, now, what I did on this one, which was kind of cool, and I think I'm going to try doing this again, is I used Old Olive and maybe I used Mossy Meadow. Looks like I did use, oops, sorry, it looks like I did use Mossy Meadow. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do 2-step stamping. So if you've never seen 2-step stamping before, you are in for a treat. Okay, so you will have, when you do 2-step stamping, you will always have one image that is solid and one image that is much more detailed, or many more lines, or yeah, more detail is what I would say. So what I like to do is I like to use the bolder or fuller image, and I like to do that with the lighter color. So in this case, I'm going to use the holly, and I'm going to use this with Old Olive, because between Old Olive and Mossy Meadow, Old Olive is actually the lighter color, believe it or not. And I'm just going to kind of stamp that here. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of go in here, and I'm going to do one of these. And then I'm going to come over here. So I'm still doing the bolder image, okay? Or the more solid image, if you will. Okay, where's this? Oops. So broke my nail off. That was not good. Okay, so now that's Old Olive that I just used. So now I'm going to come in with my Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to use the one with the more lines, or the more detail, and I'm going to stamp. Oh, what is going on there? Okay, I'm not sure what's happening with my ink pad though. That's something I have never seen happen. Okay. Not sure what's happening here. Okay, anyway, let's see what happens. So now I'm going to go directly on top of this. Now, a lot of 2-step stamping is not intended to be exactly on top. This one, I think, kind of is, though. But you can see where you should be lining that up. And when you do that, you can see the contrast. My ink pad is doing something weird to me tonight, though. So that's not helping my situation at all. I'm trying to figure this one out here. So 2-step stamping is probably one of my favorite type of techniques to do. It always creates such a wow without a lot of effort. Okay. So it kind of gives it like a 3D look. Now, my ink pads are not working correctly tonight, so I don't know what's going on with my Mossy Meadow. It's doing something funky. So now, if I bring in my hollies, so my hollies I did do in Cherry Cobbler, I think is what I actually did those in. So, where's my Cherry Cobbler? Right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a Post-it note, and the reason I'm doing this is you will see in 1 second. So here are my hollies. So that's my detailed one. This one will be my solid. So what I'm going to do with my solid is I'm going to put it into my Cherry Cobbler ink. I'm going to put it on a scrap piece of paper, and without re-inking it, I'm going to stamp off. That's called stamping off. Okay. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to apply my stamp where I want. Now, did I need to go 3 times off? Probably not. Okay. So essentially what I'm trying to do is get a lighter red. Okay. So now I can come in with my lines without stamping off. And again, I'm just going to go over. You can see that contrast. Let me just, I should be doing this with the silicone mat underneath. Sorry, I'm trying to line this baby up here. I think about there. 1, 2, 3. I have to go this way. See that? So I have now created my own designer series paper with just a few quick little steps. So this is why I love two-step stamping, because it creates such an incredible background without, you know, like I said, without a lot of effort. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to glue this down. So it's going to go on the back. Again, I could have added another layer here if I was thinking. See how pretty that is? And then this one here, I could add from our house to yours or whatever, right? From our house to yours. Let's do this one. And take this one off. So what I could do on this one as well is I could actually create more of my own background. I'm going to do this one in, what color? Let's do Mossy Meadow. So I want you to try this out, excuse me, and tell me what you think. From our home to yours. Okay, so now if I want, I could, without doing both layers, but I kind of want to do both layers. I could put the leaves along the bottom here. So again, doing the old olive. Actually, I'm going to stamp off the old olive, just so it's not so stark. I'm just going to put it there. Oopsie daisies, look at me. I got green and red and all sorts of things going on. Okay, and then I'm going to do my Mossy Meadow which is being funky on me tonight. I have no clue what's going on there. Okay, without Stampin' Off. And I'm going to line this up. And with the photopolymer, which is really fun, you can actually see where you're lining up. Most days. Okay. Okay. So then that kind of just does this. I've got a little bit of red in that stamp for some reason. It must be from the holly that I just picked up. Okay, gluing this along the bottom. Okay, so gluing this along the bottom. So we're coming in here and line this all the way down. Push this all the way down. Okay, so that's what that's going to look like, but then I don't want to leave that. So what I did was I die cut out using Old Olive and Mossy Meadow, the leaves, as well as the holly. Now this holly took me a second to figure out the other day, but I think I got it this time. Fine tip glue will be your friend. So I messed up on the leaves. I didn't really mess up. You wouldn't know any different unless I told you. I did my colors opposite than what I had intended to do. I ran them through the machine in the wrong way. I wanted the Old Olive on the top, but it's okay. Again, I should have done that with my adhesive sheet so I didn't have to worry about glue all over the table. And then I'm going to do this holly. So if this is not on your list, now is a great time to get it because it's still celebration time, which means more free product. Okay. And if you have not subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, please be sure to do that. Please be sure to invite your friends to join. Because it's always fun to have friends joining you while you're crafting. I'm going to put that there just so it's... Okay, I'm going to push that. I have glue all over my fingers. I was going to use a little bit of Wink of Stella on this to give it some more bling. And of course, we have our gems and jewels and all those great tools. So let's bring in some Wink of Stella. Do you know what Wink of Stella is fantastic for? When you get glue in a spot that you didn't want glue, it's fantastic for covering that up. Just FYI on that one. Okay. So, if you do not have Wink of Stella, I think a lot of you guys do, because I gave most of you guys Wink of Stella during my last event. So thank you. So when you put this on your ink, just careful because it does blend your colors. Okay, so there is your last card. All right, friends. That was a long one. That was a very, very long one. So I'm going to ask that you please post your pictures of your finished projects. I'm going to ask that you please provide me with some feedback and input as to what you like and don't like. And let me know which one of these cards was your favorite. You don't have to necessarily vote for me, but I would just definitely like to hear what you think. If you don't like it, let me know. If you like it, let me know. If I don't hear, I assume you guys don't like it, and then I want to stop doing it. So please just keep me posted. Feedback is always, always important, so that any paper crafter knows if they're providing you the value that you're looking for. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Send me some input and some feedback. and we'll chat soon. Okay, bye everybody.
Our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown strong together, you know it's all because everybody